Life has a curious, almost paradoxical way of testing the soul. Have you noticed that the very moment you resolve to evolve, to finally step into a higher version of yourself, the world seems to respond with a sudden flood of interruptions? Just as you settle into a state of deep concentration, temptations arrive from every corner. As you prepare to rise, the voices of others begin to shift from curiosity to criticism, and sometimes even mockery. It feels like a conspiracy of the mundane against the extraordinary. But there is a profound, ancient truth hidden in this friction. Success does not belong to those who seek approval or chase the path of least resistance. It is not a prize for the popular or a gift for the lucky. Success is an inevitable byproduct that arrives for those who commit relentlessly to the art of personal growth. The architecture of the inner citadel. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius offered us a master key to navigating this external chaos. You have control over your mind, not external events. Understand this, and you'll find power. This isn't just a quote for a journal. It is the blueprint for an unshakable life. It suggests that the only real path to achievement is the one you construct within the quiet architecture of your own character. When you begin to prioritize your internal development, step by deliberate step, moment after focused moment, you are no longer chasing success. Instead, you are building a gravity so strong that success has no choice but to orbit you. We live in a culture obsessed with the prize, but allergic to the discipline. Everyone desires the achievement, yet few are willing to undergo the evolution required to sustain it. They want the applause of the crowd, but they skip the thousands of quiet, lonely hours spent preparing when no one is watching. This is why so many feel stuck in a cycle of frustration. They are busy comparing their behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel instead of building themselves from the ground up. The lesson of the seed. Stoicism invites us to visualize a small seed buried deep underground. In that darkness, there is no audience, there is no applause. No one even knows the seed exists. Yet in that silence, it is doing the most important work of its life. It is pushing, expanding, and strengthening until the day it becomes undeniable and breaks through the surface. That is your journey. It is silent, steady, and patient. It is built not on grand public gestures, but on 8 core Stoic practices, tools you can apply right now to redefine your reality. Growth without application is merely wishful thinking. To make your success unstoppable, you must strengthen the self until life itself can no longer say no to you. Practical exercise, the audit of the invisible. Before we dive into our first core lesson, we must prepare the soil of the mind. Success is not a destination, it is a standard of being. To begin your evolution, perform this reflective audit tonight. 1. Identify the external anchors. Take a piece of paper and draw 2 columns. In the left column, list 3 things you are currently chasing that depend on the approval or actions of others. For example, a promotion, a specific compliment, a social milestone. 2. Translate to internal mastery. In the right column, translate those desires into internal Stoic goals. Example: instead of, "I want my boss to recognize my hard work," write, "I will master the discipline of completing my deepest work before noon without checking distractions." Why? You cannot control the boss. You can control the discipline. 3. The Silence Pact. Pick one area of growth you are currently working on, perhaps a new skill or a health habit, and commit to a silence pact for the next 7 days. Do not post about it. Do not tell your friends. Nurture it in the dark, like the seed, and observe how much more energy you have when you aren't spending it on explaining yourself. Are you ready to commit so deeply to your development that success becomes unavoidable? If you are, let us make a pact. This is not a journey for the passive observer. This is for the soul ready to take the helm. In the comments below, claim your intention. My growth will attract my success. Stay with me. Each lesson we explore builds upon the last, weaving a tapestry of inner strength that nothing in the external world can tear down. Let us begin with the first pillar of the Stoic path. Lesson 1. Discipline as the foundation of liberty. In the modern landscape of self-improvement, we often speak of discipline as if it were a punishment, a rigid, cold cage that restricts our joy. But the Stoics viewed it through a far more elegant lens. For them, discipline was not the opposite of freedom. It was the very soil from which true freedom grows. Growth does not begin with a stroke of luck, a sudden burst of talent, or the perfect timing that so many of us wait for in vain. It begins with the quiet, firm commitment you renew every single day to do what is required, regardless of how you feel. This is the psychological bridge between who you are and who you wish to become. It is an inner vow made in the silence of the morning when no one is watching. Just you and the weight of your own decision. Epictetus, who spent the first part of his life as a slave, understood the nuances of chains better than anyone. He famously stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." We often mistake freedom for the ability to act on every impulse, to follow every whim, and to indulge in every comfort. But the Stoic realizes that if you are a slave to your moods, your lethargy, or your cravings, you are not free at all. The reliability of the inner compass. Motivation is a fair weather friend. It shifts like the wind and vanishes when the sky turns grey. Discipline, however, is rock solid. It is a force entirely within your control. Real evolution begins the moment you stop letting your feelings run the show and start living by your values and your vision. Success is never awarded to those who only show up when they feel inspired. It belongs to the individuals who remain consistent when they are tired, overwhelmed, and surrounded by a world of distractions. Consider two people starting at the same point with the same resources. One waits for a flash of inspiration to act. The other simply shows up every day, doing the work even when it feels dull. Initially, the difference is imperceptible, but over time, the disciplined person develops a momentum that becomes unstoppable. The gap between them isn't a result of intelligence or luck, it is the compound interest of discipline. Practical exercise. The Stoic micro-victory. To build the muscle of self-command, we must stop waiting for grand moments and start mastering the small ones. The 5-second command. Tomorrow morning, when the alarm goes off, do not allow a single excuse to enter your mind. Move your body before your brain has time to negotiate for 5 more minutes. This small act of rising when you said you would is a message to your subconscious. I am the authority here. Identify your weakest urge. Pinpoint one habit that currently leads you toward convenience rather than growth. Perhaps it's mindlessly scrolling your phone or reaching for a distraction the moment a task gets difficult. The principle of substitution. For the next 3 days, when that urge strikes, pause. Take 3 deep breaths and consciously choose a value-aligned action instead. If the urge is to procrastinate, the action is to work for just 10 minutes. By doing this, you are practicing self-command. Lesson 2. Endurance and the power of the long game. We live in an era of instant meals, instant gratification, and the expectation of instant transformation. We have become culturally impatient, growing bitter when our progress doesn't match the lightning speed of our internet connections. But the Stoic woman knows that lasting growth is a slow, rhythmic process. Just as a great oak does not reach the clouds in a single season, your character and your success require time to mature. Patience is not a passive waiting. It is a form of active endurance. It is the quiet, steady refusal to quit when the results are hidden from view. Impatience has ruined more dreams than failure ever could. So many people walk away from their ambitions just as they are one step away from a breakthrough, simply because the timeline didn't meet their expectations. The alchemy of the drop. Think of a single drop of water falling onto a hard stone. In isolation, the drop seems powerless, but with consistency and time, that water carves through the rock. This is how you must view your efforts. The Stoics emphasized that while we cannot control the timeline or the ultimate outcome, we have absolute authority over our actions and our attitude. By leaning into patience, you gain a hidden edge. You stop being rattled by delays. While others are panicking because they cannot see the finish line, you move with a calm resolve, trusting that every small effort is adding up to something undeniable. Every time you resist the urge to quit because progress feels glacial, you are laying down another brick of mental toughness. Practical exercise, the seasons of growth. Reflection. To cultivate this endurance, we must shift our focus from the harvest to the planting. Audit your timeline. List a goal you feel frustrated with. Ask yourself, am I rushing the season? Are you expecting fruit when you are still in the stage of strengthening your roots? The process only week. For the next 7 days, detach yourself entirely from the results. If your goal is fitness, do not look in the mirror for changes. If your goal is a project, do not check the metrics. Focus 100% on the quality of your daily effort. Daily resilience. Affirmation. When a delay occurs, instead of reacting with frustration, tell yourself, "This is the stone, and I am the water." This reminds you that your power lies in your persistence, not in the speed of the result. Success might arrive later than you expected, but it always shows up for those who refuse to leave the field. If you are ready to embrace the long game, type this in the comments. My patience makes me powerful. Lesson 3. Master your thoughts. Shape your journey. If there is a single arena that decides the fate of your future, it is the silent theater of your mind. This is the birthplace of your highest courage, but it is also where doubts whisper lies and insecurities try to convince you that you are not enough. Everything you experience, success, failure, growth, or stagnation, begins with the internal voice you choose to believe. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the happiness of our lives depends entirely upon the quality of our thoughts. If your thinking is chaotic, negative, or unfocused, your life will inevitably mirror that confusion. However, when your thoughts are precise, disciplined, and anchored by intention, your actions and outcomes begin to align in a powerful way. The garden of the mind. Think of your mind as a sacred garden. If left untended, weeds of doubt and distraction will dominate the landscape. But if you plant with purpose, nurturing ideas like self-control, gratitude, and clarity, you create an environment where growth becomes inevitable. Most people leave the doors to their minds wide open, allowing every useless opinion and passing distraction to hijack their focus. To focus on your personal evolution, you must learn to take command. This requires becoming a scientist of your own psyche, observing your thoughts without blindly following them and questioning false beliefs before they take root. When you gain control over your inner world, the outer world loses its power to shake you. Criticism may come and setbacks will occur, but you will possess a stable mind, anchored by intention. Practical exercise. The cognitive sentinel. To master your thinking, you must move from reactive to proactive observation. The thought inquiry. When a negative thought creeps in, such as, "I am not ready for this," do not fight it. Instead, ask, "Is this thought serving my purpose, or is it a weed?" Rooting in the now. We waste immense energy replaying a past we cannot fix, or worrying about a future we cannot predict. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, perform a sensory grounding exercise. Name 3 things you can see and 2 things you can do right now. This pulls you back to the only place where change is possible. The morning mental directive. Before checking your phone, set a single mental intention for the day, such as, "Today, my focus is steady." This ensures you are steering your mind rather than being steered by it. Lesson 4. Consistency beats intensity. Real growth is not about a singular, explosive burst of energy followed by burnout. It is about returning to the path again and again with steady resolve until your efforts blend into your very identity. Many start with fiery passion, but when the initial spark fades and the vibe disappears, they abandon the journey. Success does not honor these frantic beginnings. It rewards the quiet force of consistent action. Epictetus offered a profound framework for this. First, decide who you wish to be. Then, do what needs to be done. This is the essence of character building. It is not about perfect timing or grand gestures. It is about the slow burn of transformation, the river and the stone. Consider a river slowly cutting through stone. It is not strength that allows the water to reshape the rock, but its persistence. The water flows daily, without asking for permission or taking breaks. Over time, it carves deep paths into what once looked immovable. Your consistency works exactly like this. Furthermore, consistency builds something more valuable than any external prize: self-trust. Every time you follow through on a small promise to yourself, reading 10 pages, doing 20 push-ups, or writing for 30 minutes, you send a message to your subconscious that you can be counted on. This is how true confidence is born. You no longer need permission from the world because you know your own word has weight. Practical exercise. The rule of the unseen brick. To shift from intensity to consistency, focus on the invisible daily repetitions. Shrink the task. If you are struggling to stay consistent, your goal is too big. Shrink it until it is too small to fail. Instead of an hour of exercise, commit to 10 minutes. The goal is the habit of showing up, not the intensity of the workout. The non-negotiable window. Dedicate a specific small block of time each day to your growth, where your mood is irrelevant. This is your time to be like the river, simply flowing. The 100-day tracker. Create a simple visual grid. Mark an X for every day you show up for your growth, regardless of how well you performed. Your only job is to not break the chain. Intensity might impress for a moment, but consistency changes your life. Type this below to affirm your commitment. I am consistent. That's my power. Lesson 5. Silence and resilience. The invisible armor. In a world that demands we broadcast every thought and milestone, silence has become a rare and sophisticated advantage. Deep personal growth requires a level of sharp focus that cannot survive if you are constantly seeking external validation for your journey. Not everyone is equipped to understand your vision, and many will unintentionally discourage you. Silence is not a sign of weakness. It is your psychological armor. The strategy of the invisible path. When you announce your goals prematurely, your brain releases reward chemicals that trick you into feeling as though the work is already finished. Silence prevents this illusion. It forces you to be honest with yourself and demands action over talk. Think of your growth like a fragile flame. If you expose it to the winds of outside opinion too soon, it will flicker and die. But if you nurture it in the sanctuary of silence, it becomes a roaring fire that can eventually withstand any storm. Stoicism also teaches us that this path will inevitably involve pain. Whether it is failure, rejection, or betrayal, these are not reasons to turn back. They are preparations for the next level of your strength. As Seneca noted, difficulties strengthen the mind just as labor builds the body. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your response to them. Practical exercise, the resilience reframing and vault practice. To protect your progress and harden your spirit, adopt these two Stoic rituals. The vault protocol. For your most ambitious goal, commit to a vault period of 30 days. During this time, do not share a single update about your progress with anyone. Use the energy you would have spent explaining yourself to fuel your execution instead. Reframing the obstacle. The next time you face a setback, do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, apply the Aurelian filter. How can this impediment advance my action? Failure becomes a lesson in humility and strategy. Rejection becomes a lesson in patience and thickens your skin. Struggle becomes a lesson in grit you never knew you possessed. Evening review of the unseen. Before sleep, list 3 things you did today for your growth that no one else saw. Acknowledge that your value is rooted in these private victories, not in public applause. Conclusion. The inevitability of success. Growth is not a finish line you cross. It is a lifelong promise you make to yourself. Every choice you make today is a stroke of the chisel, sculpting the person you are becoming. We have explored the pillars of discipline, patience, mental clarity, consistency, and the power of silence. Tools designed to build a life so grounded that success has no option but to follow. Always remember that life will continue to challenge you and distractions will whisper in your ear. But the individual who stays true to the path, quietly, patiently, and consistently, becomes unbreakable. When you govern your thoughts and direct your habits with precision, success ceases to be a frantic pursuit and becomes a natural byproduct of who you have become. Your final mandate. Do not let these words remain mere theories. Take action. Make them real. Choose discipline over the shallow comfort of ease. Choose patience over the anxiety of haste. Guard your growth within the refuge of silence. Rule yourself so that the world does not have to. Your focus is your armor. Your self-control is your liberation. Step forward today, not as someone chasing a prize, but as someone becoming undeniable. Claim your path one final time in the comments. I focus on my growth until success becomes inevitable.